Hey everyone, that time once again. I appreciate you stopping by our little sliver of the internet. The final cut is here, Mark the Movie Man, and today we are going to review yet another drug-crazed animal horror film. This one is streaming right now exclusively on Screambox, and it is called Crackcoon. I love that title. Crackcoon, from director Brad Twigg. Here we have a story of a raccoon who's going about his normal trash panda business and runs across a ditched stash of experimental new drug that has hit the streets. It thinks it's food, decides to eat it, and goes on a bloody rampage through the woods, leaving bodies and guts in its wake as it tears whoever it runs across apart. Not only is he terrorizing the woods, but a cabin full of friends who are getting together for one more weekend of debauchery and fun before they all go their separate ways. Then we have a sheriff in here who's trying to figure out what or who is destroying these bodies and people that they're finding in the woods and seeing if he can solve it before anyone else gets killed. Crackcoon is definitely a fun creature feature, one of the better drug-crazed animal horror films out there, not only in its production value, but just in its writing and overall fact it recognizes its tongue is firmly planted in its cheek. It reminded me a lot of some full moon monster films from like the late 90s, early 2000s, you know, those that have a lot of spirit, passion, and they do the best with what they have, and I think that's what Brad does here. We get our Crackcoon puppet, and they went practical as much as possible. We do have some CGI raccoon in here, but that was okay because it wasn't on screen that long, and it didn't mind because we get a lot of practical puppet raccoon effects in here, especially when it's attacking people, and the actors, everybody buys into this and makes the raccoon look like it's attacking them and disemboweling them and everything. And yeah, they just do an excellent job of making this trash panda puppet very threatening. And so mad props to everyone involved, and using practical effects as much as possible. There is practical gore effects in here as well, mixed in with some CGI blood and such, which you're going to get, but it didn't distract me because, again, they went minimal as they could. You could tell within their budget they did as much practical, and yeah, they're gruesome deaths. This raccoon really just is brutal in its killings. And the experimental drug that they have as well, we get to see its effects, kind of making people into these kind of feral zombie type creatures, of folks who just are insane as well. And so yeah, there's a lot of thought put into this story. It wasn't just like, hey, let's just do a story with a drug-crazed raccoon. Now, Rosaria Uraso plays Finn, and I enjoyed her character. It's surprising what they do with her character as well, because like everybody in here, you're kind of on your toes on who's going to live or not, and she really puts in a great performance in here. Jessa Flux shows up, and always fun to see Jessa get into her roles, which she does as Charlotte. Angel Nicole Bradford was fun on screen as Denise, but probably my favorite character was Justin P. Martin's Frankie. Every time Frankie was on screen, I was smiling. The personality and energy from Frankie just really keeps things, even during the darkest, most violent moments, really keeps things fun. And Frankie, yeah, just was a fun character. And then Gary Lee Vincent as our sheriff, Jonathan, who's trying to keep the town together and figure out what is killing all these people. It felt like a hometown sheriff. He really did. So yeah, the whole cast here is very talented and all understand the type of movie they're making and play up to it. Look for an appearance of John A. Russo of Night of the Living Dead fame to show up here as Lewis Smith. And overall, if you're into the drug-crazed animal horror films, this one I think should be on your list because it is elevated above some of the others out there, not only in budget and performance, but just an overall entertaining movie. Thank you so much for watching. If you've seen Crackcoon, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, subscribe, bells and whistles and all that here. We appreciate your view, and until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.